I didn't really believe in mental health.
I believe in mental health now, but I don't believe in mental health the way everyone else does.
Sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm in my bed, I look up at the ceiling and I stare at it, thinking it's 5-10 minutes, but half the day's gone.
It's almost like it's a disrespect to their struggle.
And you just turn it around and be like, don't worry about it, man.
It's all in
It'll be
your head.
fine. It's all in your head.
I mean, bro, they were denying their own children if they were disabled.
Yeah. This is the part where I totally disagree with this bit. Medication.
Random people on the internet feeling like they don't belong anywhere, feeling like they don't fit in. What am I going to do? I've got mental health. It's not always the men, it's more the women that jump onto this trend of mental health. Assalamu alaikum, guys. I'm Brother Billy.
Assalamu alaikum, and I'm Tisnan.
Today we have a very interesting topic.
A topic where we shy away from as a community, as an Asian community, and I feel like it needs to be spoken about even more, considering how prevalent it is within our community and how much of a taboo subject it is.
This topic may trigger a few people. This topic may also bring out a lot of hate, but to be frank, we don't really care. It needs to be talked about, and every single thing we say in this video are our own views. They don't reflect the views of the community, and they don't reflect the views of our race or our religion. They are our own views, unless stated otherwise.
You know what I would want people to do with this topic is for them to message us and tell us about their stories and how they deal with certain things within this subject and in this problem. I'd say we're having a problem, an illness, and I feel like we don't know enough people.
It would be good. I mean, when you say we don't know enough people, I've got first-hand experience with a few people, and I know that you have as well. I will mention it in a bit. What's the topic today?
It's gonna be about mental health and how it affects every age, every ethnicity, every gender. It doesn't shy away from any race or any specific type of people. It haunts everyone.
Specifically in the Asian community, and how the Asian community doesn't believe in it. But at the same time, Tish, I want to give this little bit of a disclaimer. I will be playing a bit of a devil's advocate in this podcast. Tiz, what are your thoughts on the mental health as a whole?
Okay, so from the beginning, I didn't really believe in mental health. I just thought it was for people who were rich and just couldn't be asked with life. They had too much money and didn't know what to do with it. Because you hear stories online about people who, like, what's his name, Charlie Sheen or something? He was making 2, 3, 5 million per episode. He was coked up to death. He had all that money, but yet he was so depressed at the same time. This was when I was younger, though. So obviously, the older I got, the more prevalent it became within our people. And what made me, what hit home was one of my uncle's friends. As a kid, we used to play cricket together. Right? And this guy was just full of life. Like, you know, like we'd play all the every weekend or every time after school we'd play cricket, and he'd be there. Okay, and then a couple of years ago I met him on Masjid after Jummah. I'm not seen him for a long time. He's seen me grow up. Like, he's been there since I was pretty much born. Do you know what I mean? Because he's my uncle's mate and he's always around and stuff. And I met him after Jummah, and I asked him, bro, I've not seen you for a while. Where have you been? How have you? This, that, the other. And a short conversation started to drag on and on, because he goes, I'm suffering from mental health. I'm like, what the fuck? What? I was gutted, because this guy was like, you know, full of life. Like, he was funny. He was messing around all the time. He goes, I'm not, how long have you had it? He goes, 20 years. Jeez. 20 years, bro. Nearly as old as me. Yeah, and no one knew. He goes, I'm like, when did it, why, how, like, you didn't tell anyone? He goes, what am I supposed to say? You know what I mean? He goes, what am I supposed to say? I just have my tablets and get on with it. And he goes, I'm like, what kind of effects does it have on you? He goes, mashallah, he's got 2 or 3 kids. He's been married for 30 plus years or whatever. And he's like, sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm in my bed, I look up at the ceiling and I stare at it, thinking it's 5-10 minutes, but half the day's gone.
Jeez.
Because I can't physically get out of bed.
Jeez.
I can't eat properly. He's lost. He was already slim, but he became like anorexic skinny. Do you know what I mean? Like you can see his bones and all that stuff, and ill, sickly looking. He goes, sometimes I just can't eat. Most of the time he goes, I can't eat. I have kids, I can't play with them. I can't take them out. This, that, and the other. And from that moment onwards, I started reading a lot more.
You started educating.
Yeah, because I'm like, come on.
So obviously, like you say that about this person that you know that switched it. I think the point for me, I didn't believe in mental health.
Right.
I used to think that I was strong enough. Yeah, alhamdulillah, I've never had mental health issues. I've had anxiety issues. I've had a bit of this and a bit of that.
But I feel like that falls into mental health, though. Don't you think?
But what I'm gonna say about that is, like, prior to all of this, I didn't believe in mental health. Then when I started feeling a bit of the effects, many years ago, I think you know, around this time when I was going through a lot of things, about 6-7 years ago, when but never once did I say I've got mental health issues, and never once did I take any pills, and never once did I, because it had never got to that point. Now, basically, what I'm trying to say is, I believe in mental health now, but I don't believe in mental health the way everyone else does.
What do you mean?
So for me, mental health exists, because I've partially been through it. I know someone very close to me that went through it, didn't know that they were going through it until I picked up on the signs, and then I said to them, it took me months of persuading them that they've got depression. They finally admitted they've got depression. They turned around and they beat it within 6-7 months on their own, with no, mashallah, with no therapy help, with no medication, nothing. And they were quite bad. They were quite bad.
Right.
So there's that. And then we both have first-hand experience with one of our really close friends that had PTSD, diagnosed PTSD, very bad, to the point where they were in bedbound and they just couldn't move, and so almost similar to what you're saying with the person that you were just talking about, bedbound. This person, with very little therapy and very little medical medicine, beat it as well, alhamdulillah. I'm not saying that's the case for everyone,
of course,
but what I'm trying to say is, me and you and so many other people out there have really seen what mental health issues look like. Dire mental health issues. It pisses me off when everyone in this day and age claim mental health. It's almost as if the 2 people that I've seen in my life, and a few other people that I know in my life, in my families and stuff, that have, whatever.
Of course.
It's almost like it's a disrespect to their struggle, because now everyone's just going around claiming that they've got a bit of anxiety and mental health. No, everyone has anxiety. I'm of the belief that everyone has anxiety. It is when you go for a new job, do you not feel
nervous?
anxious?
Of course you do.
That's anxiety. That's anxiety. Everyone has anxiety. If you went through a past trauma, for example, you had a car crash, and it was a bad car crash. Would you not have any sort of past trauma towards that?
Of course you would.
That's
natural too.
That's depression.
Right.
That's some part. So a friend put it perfectly to me. They said, anxiety is about worrying about the future. Depression is about the past. And it's true. Anxiety is about the future. Depression is about the past. So we all have a form of anxiety, and we all have a form of depression. It's just that everyone's levels are different. Where I believe it becomes actual mental health is when it starts affecting you physically or mentally to the point where your mental side is not working right. What I can't take is just random people on the internet feeling like they don't belong anywhere, feeling like they don't fit in. What am I going to do? I've got mental health because I've got a bit of anxiety, or yeah, no, I don't like that,
Yeah,
because it's almost like a disrespect.
Of course it is.
To the people that actually have it.
That's why I hate it. That's why I didn't look into it for such a long time, because people like that piss me off. Because I'm like you see them perfectly fine, going to play footy, going out with the boys, going for drinks, going to eat something in the restaurant.
Majority of the time, it's the women. I'm not gonna lie. The majority of the time, and stats do show this on the internet. It's the women that claim it. It's the women. Look, with men, it takes some years to admit that they have
100%
mental health issues or some sort of issues. Women, out of the blue, I've got this. Women, out of the blue, I've got that. I was just saying that in response to when you said going out with the boys and stuff. I just wanted to I just wanted to show that it's not always the men. It's more the women that jump onto this trend of mental health, and it's almost as if it's done to look cool nowadays.
Yeah, it's like that's what I'm saying to you. When I didn't know I didn't know much about mental health when I was younger, it was because of these type of people. Because you'd see these videos online and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm on benefits. Why? I've got a mental disorder. I'm not well in the head. Or I've got this. I've got that." I'm like, you can't use that as an excuse when the NHS is so backed up already,
and you just
with serious people with serious illnesses, and you're pussyfooting around and just wasting resources. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that we got that part out of the way of this podcast, because now when we're talking about mental health, all of the viewers will know we're not talking about all of these little I've got
little
this
petty
and I've
stuff,
got that. No, we don't care about your kind of mental health. That's to us. That's not even. That's your own. We all have them issues.
Yeah,
we all have
it's
them
a day-to-day thing.
Yeah, you just get
over it, man.
Just sort it out.
Yeah, literally.
We're talking about the proper diagnosed, and I don't mean even diagnosed where the doctor just turns and say, "Yeah, you got anxiety. Have these pills. Have a bit of this and that." No, I'm talking proper, because we've seen it. I've seen someone close to me, and I've seen one of our closest friends, bedbound from this stuff. I've had albeit a far family member, but it still rings in your head.
Man.
A far family member commit suicide because of mental health. So when we're talking about mental health in this podcast, we're talking about that kind of mental health.
That bedbound people who are
the serious
can't
stuff.
go on with their life because of such problems.
The serious stuff.
Yeah, man. I don't want to give them guys any attention. Yeah, of course, man.
In the Asian communities, in our Asian community, it's only now that mental health is slowly starting to be recognized in the last couple of years, only because there's been a massive hoo-ha about it, right? On social medias and on every walk of life.
Yeah.
But in our Asian communities here, before, it was never looked into, was it?
Nope.
No one cared about it. Our elders didn't really give a because they always, I think one of the things that they always turned around and said was they were jinns.
See, now, yes and no.
Okay.
It could be both. Okay, but our Asian community, our elders,
they just ran to that as an excuse.
It's just straight there.
Yeah, they just no thingy, just went boom.
Like, instead of doing that, how about you go to a doctor first, speak with him, get the medical side out of it first.
Yeah.
If it's not that, then have a look at that. No one's saying don't look at that. It could possibly be that as well.
It could be, yeah.
But our community, our elders, like this person we both know, who's one of our closest friends, that's the first thing their family ran to was such things.
It's a jinn. We need to go to the Mulvi Saabs.
Rather than being like, okay, this person has this problem, let's deal with it medically.
Yeah.
Then we'll see what happens. Then we'll give them the medication, we'll test this out, test that out.
Yeah.
And we can deal with it that way. But no, our people want to just
jump straight to
the jinns. Like, leave them alone. Do you know what I mean?
So I think with the Asian community, it's more the men. It was more the men that turned around and said, we don't believe in this shit.
Of course they don't.
We don't believe in it, no matter how severe it got.
They don't even know they have it.
Well, even if their daughters or their sons had it, and it was down to a bad point, they'd still deny it. I mean, bro, they were denying their own children. If they were disabled,
Yeah.
they were denying them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, what's mental health?
Yeah, literally.
And it's still happening, to be honest.
Unfortunately,
It's still
but
happening.
I feel like our generation
It's changing.
will be the last ones to go without acknowledging mental health.
Yeah.
Our parents are still gonna be like, you know,
Yeah.
a bit on the side of like,
Yeah,
it might be this, it might be that. But we are the next generation where, inshallah, when we have kids, we're gonna
We
be
can
like,
change
if
that.
they come around, they'll be like, we've got this, that problem, we'll take it seriously.
Yeah, we will, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because the thing is, it develops.
Of course it is.
If it's not looked after properly, so if I think what happened back in the day was a child would go to their father. Back then, the mother really had no say with all this kind of stuff. It was just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
So the father would, the son or the daughter would say, "Dad, I've had this kind of issue or that kind of issue in my head." And after they've got over the whole fact that of the jinn stuff, or even if they didn't go to that first, they'd leave it and say, "Shut up, it's all in your head. Leave it."
Yeah, yeah.
No,
That's
you're
you know
trying shit, you're trying shit.
that statement.
It's all in your
Like
head.
I've heard it a lot.
Yeah.
When I was younger, from other people's parents and stuff or whatever. But now you're older and you replay that question in your head. It's in your head.
It's in your
Statement.
head. It's not.
It's like, yo, that's strong words, man. Because the thing
Like-
is them. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. It progresses. So what they've essentially done is, if you see a 40-year-old, 50-year-old now that's got severe mental health issues, chances are high that they weren't looked after by their parents properly when it came to these particular matters when they were younger. Because their parents would have just turned around to them and instead of getting them looked at. Because, come on, man, I mean, even in the 1960s and 70s, the professionals, the health professionals believed in mental health. It was just society that didn't. So they were still help out there, but they just didn't utilize that help. Over the years, it was untouched, undiagnosed, untreated, and now the 40, 50-year-old dealing with it even worse. Like you said, your friend that you saw, your uncle's friend, 20 years he's had it. He's never said anything. And what was the thing he said? Who could I tell? What could I do?
Yeah.
And now he's got to a point where it's so bad that unfortunately he has to be dosed up on medicine. These are the kind of things that just can't be switched off just like that. Essentially what I'm saying there is the Asian parents first need to acknowledge, be able to distinguish, and I'm not talking about the jinn thing,
Right.
but they need to be able to distinguish between what is actual mental health and, I hate to say this, but what is attention seeking. If they can distinguish between them two things,
Yeah.
because let's be real, there is a lot of attention seekers and I've come across them
Right.
myself.
Okay.
I've heard of other stories from people that they were involved with people that were attention seeking and stuff like that when it came to mental health, you know. So that attention seeking side does exist.
Of course it does.
So the first thing the Asian parents need to do is distinguish, is it actual mental health or is it
Just tantrums, innit?
Tantrums.
Yeah. I feel like our community and people need to open up more about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like imagine, like, God forbid, like you had a sister, for example, and let's say she turned around to you and said, "Yo, Billy, I don't feel right. Sometimes I just zone out. Giving these symptoms of her problems, and you just turning around and be like, don't worry about it, man.
It's all in
It'll be
your head.
fine. It's all in your head."
Yeah.
It's undermining. It's so like
Horrible.
It is, man. I couldn't
It's
imagine
horrible, man.
just being like
Being turned
shoving away,
yeah,
basically.
turned away by people that you love.
And it makes me know, God forbid, commit suicide or
I mean,
walk into a road or
Yeah.
jump off a bridge or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know what's always got me is that the masjids don't talk about it enough.
They don't.
The masjids don't talk about it enough. And come on, the masjids they want to talk about everything. But there's certain things they don't talk about.
It's a taboo subject, no matter how you cut
I
it.
just don't understand why.
Because
I mean,
the older generation, like our grandparents and our parents, still, alhamdulillah, go to the masjid and stuff. So we should as well. They want to have a certain environment.
yeah.
They don't want to be pulled in or roped into 21st century problems, which I'm just saying for the context.
Yeah.
But they don't want to be roped into these new illnesses,
One of the things that a lot of now slowly the status quo is being changed, yeah. But one of the things only up until a few years ago, that the mosques were saying, pray. If you got mental health problems, pray. Bro, the guy, one of our closest friends, who had PTSD so bad that was bedbound, and his mind was mash up, bro. His mind was mash up, yeah.
Oh Allah,
wasn't he one of the most religious guys you know?
Yeah, but even to this day, if it wasn't, honestly, we can't praise that guy to what he deserves.
If he wasn't our friend,
well, I wouldn't even be praying.
Honestly,
I wouldn't even be praying.
He
right
was
now.
literally, he started the foundation for us.
Wallah,
right? So he is living proof that it's not all about just praying.
No.
Look, you pray with the hope, inshallah, it gets better, because ultimately Allah is your savior.
Of course.
Allah is your savior.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't mean that 100% of the time that Allah's going to make it better just because you pray.
Yeah.
It might be in your plan.
Yeah.
It might be in your plan
Your
Allah
journey,
set out for you.
Of course, yeah.
That no matter how much you pray, you're still going to have these mental health problems, because it's a way of Allah testing you to see if you're going to come even closer. So how can the mosque sit here and say, pray and it'll all go away?
Yeah, you can't. I understand, of course, not saying don't pray.
Yeah.
Pray, make your dua, because the only...
You have to do your due diligence.
The only thing you can worship is Allah, because He's the one who's going to answer your prayers.
Yeah.
Whether He's going to test you first, but there's going to be an outcome, whether it's in your favor or it's not in your favor.
Yeah.
There's going to be an outcome, but at the same time, He's put doctors on this planet to go to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not like it's you're going out of the remit of Islam by just going to a doctor.
Of course not.
I mean, Allah has put the knowledge out there.
Yeah, of course He has.
So if you go into a doctor, you're going to a doctor that has the knowledge has been put in by Allah.
Of course.
So essentially, it is a part of Islam to go and get your health checked.
Of course it is, yeah.
But, and now this is what I'm trying to say, that the masjids, nowadays, they're slowly starting to change their view on it, saying, no, mental health is a legit thing. And some cases, not all, but some cases, no matter how much you pray, the mental health is just maybe gone too far for it to get sorted out. Which in that case, you need medicine. In that case, you need therapy or whatever. I mean, look, I'll be honest. When I had my issues, which weren't even I'll never ever in my life, I'll never call them mental health issues, because they weren't. I don't want to fall into the same category as the people that we were saying for attention seeking.
Yeah.
They weren't mental health issues. They were just a bit of anxiety.
So you wouldn't class anxiety as a mental health?
No, anxiety is a mental health issue when it gets to
a certain level.
Level. When it's just a bit of anxiety, like I had, you know, my issues that I was having, like the problems that I was going, like this one major problem in my life that I was going at the time, and bro, that gave me a bit of anxiety, and that changed my moods and mood swings and all sorts of stuff, right? Now, am I going to sit here and say that I was mental health issues? No, I'm just going to turn around and say that was a test from Allah.
Yeah, man.
That was a test from Allah, and, you know, I'd like to say I passed. But that is what brought me close to I remember the first time that I actually went into sajda and started crying. So no one's saying that, no, you shouldn't, praying won't fix anything. Praying will, if it doesn't fix your mental health, it'll fix your spiritual side.
Yeah.
If it fixes both, happy days.
This is the part where I totally disagree with this bit. Medication. Okay. So I was just looking up some stats, and apparently there's 6-point-something million people in the UK that have been recognized as having mental illnesses. Okay. Apparently there's I think it was in the hundreds of millions where the tablets, the antidepressants, or
been handed out
to people, bro. Yes. And I know this personal experience. She has panic attacks like it's done a Tuesday. She gets stressed about something, she'll hyperventilate and she'll whatever. So she was at uni once. After a certain time, it built up a lot. Stress of working always 6 days a week,
Yeah.
in and out, uni work, home, uni work home. She started like stressing out and started to hyperventilate a lot. Like she'd sit and she can't breathe. She got to breathe into a bag. Okay. So then she went to the doctors, and what did they do within like? She goes 5 minutes. He prescribed me antidepressants. She goes. I took one tablet. As soon as I took it, about an hour into it, she goes, your brain becomes dull.
Okay.
Like there's no thoughts. She managed to do two. I think she said 2 or 3 assignments and her work stuff in one night. She woke up the next morning feeling worse. Like after the high happened, the drop. That she goes, it made me feel like shit. She told me about the tablets. I'm like, what the hell are you taking them? You've got a bit of anxiety, relax, innit? You just stress about everything. She took that one tablet and she literally dashed the rest of them in the bin. I feel like medicine makes it worse sometimes.
I'm sort of in the same line as that, but I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, yeah, but everyone needs medicine.
Not true.
Why wouldn't you take the medicine if it's going to make you feel better?
Okay, there's 2 ways I look at this. One, I look at it as a business. Okay? Pharmaceutical companies right now, they are making a killing on people being depressed and giving these tablets out, yeah? Because it may cost them, I don't know, a couple of pennies to make each packet or whatever, yeah? But they're charging the NHS tens of millions of pounds, tens of millions of pounds a month or a year or whatever, right? Maybe even hundreds of millions a year just on that. Sometimes I feel like they're doing that just to sell it. That's it. The second bit is once someone's on the tablets, I feel like they're not themselves.
Okay.
I feel like they're very numb as people. I feel like they're very drowned out in their own heads.
You're not the first person to tell me that. I've heard that from so many other people, that they take it once and they just the next day felt horrible. What does that prompt them to do? Take it again.
That's the thing.
Because
it's a cycle, bro.
And then the next day they'll take it again before they start feeling horrible. And then it'll get to a point where they'll just constantly pop in them pills. Putting devil's advocate aside now, I don't agree with medicine to be just popped just like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Just for any old person. But I do, however, agree with medicine for the right people. So when there's a person that really needs it, because they've got to the point that we were just talking about a bit ago, where they've got to the point where there's no fixing for them anymore. Their mind is so mashed up that...
So that's schizophrenics, basically.
Schizophrenics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then they have to take the medicine. Yeah. That I understand. But any person that just has a bit of this and a bit of that going to pop pills, it's always going to end up in a worse scenario.
Of course, like just going back to like the 40s, 50s and 60s, yeah? Well, I'll say 40s and 50s or in the 20s as well, where people that had mental illnesses, they used to get electrocuted, bro. They used to get the helmets on their heads, and they used to get electrocuted because they thought they were the devil or something.
Yeah, they were seen as retarded. Or devils and stuff.
Yeah, of course, man.
No, I think within our Asian community, it needs to be dealt with better. Look, there's going to be a bit of backlash with this statement, but I think both parties need to chill out a bit. When I say both parties, I mean, yes, the Asian elders need to chill out and just say, look, you know what, this is a proper issue that's our young children are facing, regardless of what the society, why it's happening, why wasn't it so prevalent back in the day, but it is now. Okay, yeah, you can blame social media, you can blame TV, you can blame fashion or beauty, whatever, standards, all that kind of stuff. It's here. It's here, so deal with it. Yeah, understand that it's here and do something about it. So that's one side. But the other side need to chill as well, in terms of don't just keep running around, jumping on the bandwagon. I've got mental health. I've got mental health. I've got mental health, because then it's going to come to a point where your parents or your elders or the elders in the community are going to see you saying you've got mental health, and then you're just going out doing dumb shit that has got nothing to do with your mental health.
Mm.
And then they're just going to turn around and say, no, this prick's using it as an excuse to go and do what he wants or she wants. Or they're going to turn around and say, you know, the boy who cried wolf.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're doing it for attention.
Yeah.
And then when it actually does happen, they don't believe it.
Yeah, man.
So both sides, personally, I think, just need to chill out a bit.
Yeah.
Just chill out a bit, because mental health is real when it's real.
Yeah.
Not when you just have a bit of this and that.
Yeah,
you know.
man.
Look, it can lay dormant in you for years. Nothing, you could
Yeah.
probably have it, but you just don't know about it. It
Yeah.
doesn't affect you. When you hit your 40s, 50s, something might trigger.
Yeah.
You might end up with something schizophrenic, or so it can even affect you with certain epilepsy, seizures, things like that as well. You just don't know.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is work on your mind. While you have a mind that's workable, work on it.
Yeah.
Work on your mind.
The thing, I feel like when you become, I'm not saying it's the same for everyone, but certain cases, I feel like they could easily get over the mental health that
If
they
they
have.
worked on themselves a bit.
That, and if they had productive lives.
Productivity.
A lot of
yeah.
people have, like, these dole people that I see, people that are on dole that claim that they got mental health, right? Those type of people may have it.
Lifestyle. It's lifestyle.
Their life,
bro.
there's nothing. So they wake up in the morning, they chill out all day, they chill out in the evening with the boys. They don't sleep till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and then
Yeah.
they do the exact same thing over again. Imagine the boys, they go to work, right, from the morning to evening. Their mind occupied all the time.
But even not just that, but even like things like if you work on your mind. So if you always like, if something bad happens, you have to sit there, you assess the situation. How has it happened? How am I feeling? How do I get over it is one of the biggest things. How do I get over it? How do I bounce back? Am I gonna what's my reaction? Am I gonna sit here and cry about it for 10 years, or am I gonna cry about it for a couple of days and then just get back on my feet?
Yeah.
You know, things like that. We have to, and that's the whole process of working on your mind. As an example, recently there were a few things that someone close to me was going through, and there was a certain something that triggered it off again.
Okay.
And I sat down with the person and I was saying to them that, look, enough is enough now. Enough is enough. What are you going to do? Keep moping about? Or are you just going to say, right, it is what it is. Carry on now.
Yeah.
We just carry on with life, and whatever happens, happens. And now they're starting to take my advice and they're feeling a lot better about things. So sometimes we are our own destruction as well.
Yeah. I feel like depending on the severity of the mental health, I feel like there's people out there that don't show it because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They may be in their own little bubble.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, but what if I say that this might happen? Like, you know, when you play a scenario out in your head and you're like, thinking of all the possibilities. And then you're like, oh, but if I do this, this may happen. If I do this, this may happen. But if I do this, my parents be mad. Or they'll be like, what the hell's wrong with him?
Calculated it a bit too much.
And then that's what stops you from going out to help yourself.
Yeah.
To go to see a doctor, to see a therapist.
Yeah.
I'm the last guy would ever go to a therapist, firstly. But I feel like people with mental health problems need to go to speak to someone that understands what they're going through.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh no, I can't do that. This, that. But you've got to, if you're not going to help yourself, no one's going to help you, bro. You have to step out your house and be like, yeah, I'm going to go help myself and better my life. Because in
any way, shape or form.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that, I'm going to go out and better my life by getting a job that pays £1 million a year. No. In any way, even if it means bettering yourself by going to the gym.
Yes.
Going to the things like going to the gym.
I 100% agree with people with mental health that should start going to the gym.
Yeah.
You have to, man. Because when I'm in a bad day, when I'm pissed off at something, when I'm annoyed at something, I go spend 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour at the gym, and you just take all your stress and all your anger out on it.
Even that's not one thing.
That helps,
but
man.
even going to the gym scientifically, blood circulation and things like that. Man.
Everything, bro.
So there are ways instead of just popping pills and
Yeah,
claiming mental health.
yeah.
There are ways to get around it. You just got to be willing to do it.
You have to step out your bubble, man.
We're
You have to.
we're not like them flipping red pill guys, like
You're a
Andrew
pussy.
Tate
You're a
and-
pussy. Yeah.
yeah, you're a pussy. and
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
them.
No,
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 we're not
no.
saying that. We're just saying, look, we know it exists.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand. We've just got to be a bit more clever about it.
Yeah.
That's all. You can't just keep sitting there taking pills every day.
No, man. How long
Get
for?
off them pills. Go and see a therapist. Go and speak to people. Speak to your closest people.
Yeah.
If they're gonna turn around and demonize you
Yeah,
for it,
then you know-
then you know who's
Yeah.
right. Then you know who's there for you. and
Like, God forbid, if
doesn't
you had an illness, God forbid, and a mental illness, and you came to me and I pawed you off and be like, yo,
Yeah.
stop playing up, man.
Do you
Be
think
a man.
Yeah,
You wouldn't want to come to me, or you
Exactly.
would be like, oh yeah, he's right, or whatever.
Yeah.
No, but if I came, on the other hand, if I came to you, you came to me, sorry, and said to me, yo, this and that, I've got this and that wrong with me. I'll sit like this and I'll talk to you. I'll be like,
Yeah.
what's up? Like, explain to me what's
And
going on.
you-
I'll help you.
talking-
Them were the guys you need in your life.
Talking is really,
Yeah.
really good.
As much as I hate talking to some people,
It can
or
to
sometimes,
to the right person.
yeah, to the right people.
To the right person.
Yeah,
When you talk to the right person,
yeah. I feel
Yeah,
like you
bro,
should,
it's-
if you're married,
Yeah.
speak to your spouse.
yeah, man.
If you've got siblings, speak to someone, one of the siblings you're closest to, because I feel like if you don't speak up, it's gonna boil inside you. You're like a kettle. If you don't, like the ones you put on the hob, if you don't, yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
explode sooner
Yeah.
or later, and you don't want to
It's,
be in that situation. But if you guys, people that do suffer with mental health, want to message us and tell us their stories, I think that'll be better for us because we'd
We
get
can have a better
insight.
understanding.
Yeah, we get insight of your mental health,
100%.
your problems, and then we could also share that
Yeah.
with someone. Maybe someone that's a professional might.
Mm.
You know, we could like get in touch with each other.
Sort something out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
And on that note, Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. See you on the next one. Or like, follow, and subscribe.
You said like, follow, subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe.
Safe.